Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Laura Canfield Show, the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today at a special time because my good friend Maya Boston is here with us, so we had to do it a little bit later. It's really early for her, so I'm not complaining at all. So Maya Boston is here today, and we're going to be talking about accelerated awakenings. And I know some of you are already perceiving that and maybe wondering what is going on. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So for those of you who don't know Maya, she lives in Australia, near Perth. She's an international light language channel and activator, a gong practitioner, a speaker, and a teacher. And she's been facilitating workshops around the world, and her work is focused on opening the heart and mind of humanity through sound by using frequencies to change each listener's brainwave state, which touches the deepest parts of each individual's being and assists with overcoming long-held blocks, simultaneously creating a space into which the listener can expand into. And if you listened to the free gift, it was a gong sound bath with whale song. It's a beautiful, I was listening to it earlier today. It's absolutely beautiful. You definitely want to listen to it. You definitely want to get that free gift for yourself so that you can experience what that is like. And so, Maya, thank you so much for being here with us at this early time. And I know that you're going to be taking live caller questions. You're going to be doing, at some point, we're going to do some sort of process as well. And we're going to be talking about accelerated awakening. So welcome.
Oh, thank you, Alara. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's joining us at this special time as well. And I just also want to honor Alara for inviting me back to her shows so that we can have some more fun.
It's always fun. It's always fun having you here. You know, I always learn so much, and we talk about so many different things, right? So it's you know, a joy for me as well that you're here. So I'm so glad. So for those of you who are here live, like I said, we're going to be doing some, you know, Q&A, so live caller questions. So if you do have a question for Maya, you can raise your hand or you can type your question in the chat. I don't know what exactly the questions are going to be about yet, but you know, let's start talking first about, you know, accelerated awakenings. What does that mean, and are you experiencing that for yourself? Because I know I am. I wasn't expecting to actually, but I am. So tell us, Maya, what you mean by that first.
I think everyone is experiencing something that is appropriate for their own personal journey. And I've called it accelerated awakenings, but we're in the quickening. It's fast tracking us to a point where we can then jump off from. And this is, as I said, this has been in so many different ways for each individual person.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever changes are going on for you, it's okay. You're not the only one. Everybody is going through something in their own way. And if you look around the world, you know, what's going on around the world, we can also see many changes as well. So as within, so without, and as above, so below. And this is where we're being fast-tracked. And at the moment, we're in this wonderful period of chaos. And to us, it looks like all hell is broken loose, or you know, everything's, you know, it's the end times or whatever. And it's not. It's the end times of the times as we have known them, and nothing else. It's just the birthing of a new time for a new world. And we need to change with it. Basically, we need to go with the flow. And I know you yourself, Alara, have said, you know, just going with the flow to the best of your ability. And that's all that each and every one of us can do. We can't do any more than that, because the challenges are so great. And we don't grow unless we're challenged, by the way. We don't grow when we're sitting in our comfort zone, feeling all warm and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. I wish we could, right? That would be nice, right? But unfortunately,
maybe
you know,
one day.
Yeah, but you know, that is the belief in the collective consciousness, is that we only grow when we're being challenged or suffering, or you know, from heartache, etc. but we don't have to accept that. We can say to ourselves, to our higher self, to our support team, yes, I understand, but you know what, I'm okay to change and grow when I'm happy too. So let's have that instead, right? We can make that declaration and that choice, right?
Oh, absolutely, we can make it. But I'm currently working right now where people are now,
Hmm.
and this is where a lot of people are still at. So
Yeah.
I can only work with you where you're at right in this moment and just a little bit ahead, because everything is so fluid that we really need to just be in the moment. We can't really start planning 5 years ahead anymore, or even a year ahead, because it's all uncertain, it's all fluid,
Yeah.
and it can change, as they say, it can change on the turn of a dime. So as we've seen in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, for the past year or two, I don't think I've been planning more than a couple of months in advance. I just can't plan further ahead than that, because I just don't know. Like, everything is, like you said, changing so drastically and so fast that we just don't know what's going to come. So part of that is like, yes, we have to have some plans, we have to have some goals, but also being flexible, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's part of being in the flow, is being flexible. So accepting what is, so today you may not be feeling so well, and tomorrow you may feel better.
Yeah.
From even going through things, our own personal challenges. Sometimes, we can only go from one moment to the next, from 1 hour to the next. And I can talk about that, because I've gone through that myself over the last few months. I've gone through a very deep transformation, hence the topic I'm talking about.
Hmm.
and really, there were moments there where I really couldn't go from further than the next moment. This is how I'm feeling. I'm just going to sit with this in this moment,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going to be beyond this moment. It was that challenging. I've had 3 people die within a space of 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Family and dear friends, and I just I just had to just sit with how I'm feeling. Not trying to change how I feel, just honoring how I'm feeling, going deep within. The process on the planet itself is digging so deep. It's bringing the underbelly of things that are happening on the planet, of things that we weren't aware of or didn't want to be aware of, and they're now in our face. They're now on every night on our evening news. And as I said earlier, as within, so without. So on the inside, it's also these energies on the planet are digging very deep and bringing up the underbelly of our personalities, of our egos. Everything is being brought into the light, to be seen, to be honored, acknowledged, and to be transmuted into love and light. And so sometimes those moments can really take a lot out of us. From one moment to the next, I just thought, I'm just going to go and sit outside in the sunshine today. I can't do anything else. I
Hmm.
can't. I stopped taking clients. I stopped doing all manner of things. I stopped doing housework. Just so I can't do this today.
That I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
And I am. It's like, and as I step back, I've noticed my husband step forwad. He's,
Awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
picking
Good.
up the slack in some areas, and it's like, well, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's about, the self-care, the self-nurturing. What do you require, right? And sometimes you have to take a step back in order to rest, rejuvenate, and then you can take that step forward again. But it's okay if you have to take a step back.
Yeah,
But in
absolutely.
our culture, we're taught not to, that it's bad for us to take that step back. It's like, what's wrong with
Yeah,
But actually,
yeah.
no. It's, people will say you're selfish. Yep, I am selfish. I'm doing what myself requires in this moment.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's
And I
honoring.
and I I've come on your show before and I've talked about self-love, and that's exactly what I did. I let go of clients because I just did not have the energy for anyone else.
Yeah.
You know, I really withdrew my energies, and there were days when I just sat and felt numb. There were days when I sat and I just cried from, you know, 1 hour to the next, you know, and there were days when I was feeling really good and I just went with the flow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say I'm on the other side of this, and I'm feeling this new version of me, which is incredible. She feels stronger. She feels more confident. She's you know, looking at what else is there, you know, what's
Mm-hmm.
come on board, what's come up now, what's revealed itself. This is like this new kind of landscape that's um, you know, revealing itself to me, because I'm at a completely different level to where I was,
Yeah.
you know, 3 months ago or 6 months ago, you know. And I was talking to my VA the other day, and I said, you know, what I really liked 3 months ago, I don't like anymore. So I'm going to have to
Mm-hmm.
change the website, you know, because I don't want to do that anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
it feels like, you know, something new's come on board, and I got to sit with that and bring that through, and then I'll let you know. But yeah, you know,
So
take
that
all
was
this
that
stuff
was like a
off.
reset, right? So that was kind of like a
Oh,
reset, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And
I talked about as well, you know, the rebalancing, the reset,
yeah.
self-love, self-nurturing during the whole process. And I've lived it. I tell you, I've lived it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that's why you can talk so eloquently about it, because you've gone through it, you've lived it, and we've all done that from time to time, you know. And we need to, right? And if we have the support from, you know, our loved ones, our spouses, you know, to carry the weight when we can't, you know, to carry the extra stuff when we can't, right? And having that is wonderful, and it's needed. And just know that, you know, it doesn't last forever, you know, like you just said, you're now out of it and on the other side of it. So there is that hope, there is that, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. But it's not even about that, it's about stepping into the new version of you. And this is what's happening now. It's like right now, people, all of us are being called to step into the higher version of us, the next best version of us, right? That and it's what's required from all of us, because we need to show up for those who cannot, you know, or who may not be here at this, you know, at this frequency yet. We need to show up
Yeah.
to let them know that they can also at some point, right?
Yeah. Well, as you know, we're the way showers, we're the light workers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing the work ahead of time so that we can light their path, and they can see that they too can get through this. Because there are a lot of people, you know, they talk about, you know, people's mental health during all these
Mm-hmm.
lockdowns and things. Because here in Australia, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy, the lockdowns and what's going on, and people's mental health, and it's really important, you know, the mental health. And some people just think there isn't a way out,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they're not even talking about you know, the levels of suicide on the planet, which is unprecedented. But I just wanted to say with that as well, as I'm being prompted to mention it, that it's all with soul agreement. All those that have chosen to depart the planet at this point in time, it's all with soul agreement. There was a potential long ago when we were all looking at coming back, and all our lifetimes when our souls were talking to each other and planning it all, there was the potential that there would be this event on the planet. And we, you know, some people, some souls agreed that, you know, should it all get to this point, and should they be in such a place, then they agree that they would leave the planet at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about, you know, the people that have left my life in the last last few months, you know, I'd have to say it's definitely with soul agreement. And sometimes we have to come back because our bodies, you know, these bodies that we are inhabiting are just not quite right for the energy. We just can't, you know, they're too tired, they're worn out, and you know they need a rest. So the soul decides it's time to leave, and it leaves, and you know, the souls come back in a brand new body. So this is all with soul agreement, and it's an honoring. It's, you know, it's an honoring of, you know, the mentors and dear friends that have left my life, that are no longer there, that I can't sort of do a Zoom chat with them anymore and go, hey, you know, this is what's going on for me. What am I doing? What's going on? You know, I can't Zoom with them, but I can meditate with them still.
Exactly.
And you know, and talk to them in that way. And you know, and just looking at their lives and their contribution to you know, to the light on the planet, and how they inspired me so that I could step forward as well, you know, and I know that they'll be back, you know, real soon.
You know, and you know, and that's a good point you just made, that okay, fine, you can't see them anymore, you can't Zoom with them, but you can still connect with them during your meditations. Just talking to them from your heart, you can still connect with them in that way, right? So that connection is never lost. It's actually much clearer and stronger sometimes, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. My dear friend, I don't know if you've heard of her, Kahuna Kalei. She passed in late August, so just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I can't remember the exact date. Because again, time is another one of those things that has really shifted for us. But you know, I can sit with her, and I can see her just the way that I saw her for the very last time last December when I was in Hawaii. And I can see her sitting under her beloved tree, and the sacred tree, the banyan tree, and you know, and you know, throwing her head back in laughter about something, you know, that we've been talking about, and you know, and just having her wisdom, you know. And so I know that she's not gone. We have that beautiful connection always.
Absolutely.
And so I can always return to that place and have a chat with her.
It's not a loss at all, right? If anything else, just remember all the good times, you know, and be in the state of gratitude, and that will help you to, you know, get to the next level, get to the next phase, right?
Absolutely. So, you know, for all of those who have had someone leave their physical form in the last few months, you know, it's a different kind of connection. You know, yes, you know, I can't Zoom with them, or I can't sit with them, but you know, I can still do the heart Zoom.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that. The heart Zoom. Yeah, beautiful. And you know, at this time when we're going through this accelerated awakening, you know, whatever challenges you might be perceiving or having at this time as you're going through this, it really is important to continue to make those connections. You know, so we can't see each other physically, okay, but you can still Zoom, you can Skype, you can WhatsApp, whatever it happens to be. Take that extra step to do that. I know I'm very guilty of not connecting as often as I should, you know. I know that. I'm just, you know, but right now it's really important for us to make that extra effort and take that extra step to try and connect with people, with our family, with our friends, not just for ourselves, but for them as well. They will benefit greatly from just that connection, again, from all of us, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Use the technology.
Yeah. It's there
You
for a
know,
reason.
that's what
Use it.
it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's there for. Use the technology.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, like when it comes to the accelerated awakening, and I know how connected you are to Lemuria and Atlantis and so on. So, you know, what messages are you getting from from Lemuria, from Atlantis, from the grandmothers of Mu? Like, what message are you getting for us and for the whales, right? For us right now, as to what we can do to have more ease with this accelerated awakening.
So it's about, as you said earlier, being in the flow, and what changes can I make in this moment that will be bring me into more of an alignment with my soul, with the planet, with my environment, with the people around me, with what's going on around me. So in any given moment, how do we find that point of balance? And balance, by balance, I don't mean that it's always a 50-50 kind of breakup. You know, sometimes it's a 70-30, sometimes it's a 40-60 kind of thing. So but it's a place of harmony within yourself. where where do you find that point when you're, you know, for example, you know, having to deal with biological family more than I ever have, and I so beautifully was able to circumvent them. Bless them all. You know, previously, and now having more to do with them. How do I find my point of balance, my place of harmony, when I could so easily be pulled into the drama and all the things that go on for them? You know, where is that point of balance, my point of stillness that I find? And so I actively search that, and it's not easy, you know, for someone who's really, I would have to own up and say that I've avoided, you know, these kind of gatherings and contact with biological family, because I'm so different to them. How do I find my point, my still point, that 0 point within, when there's so much going on around me? To do with them, and you know, not just with them, but with the world, what's going on with the world. How do I find that peace within, that harmony within? Because that's what it's about. It's, you know, whether it was Atlantis or Lemuria, I mean, you know, they were about peace and harmony and deep connection. So how do I find that, given no matter what goes on around me, stepping into my mastery and finding that point of stillness, that point of harmony, harmonizing with the energies that are going on around me, not directly engaging in the drama and all the negative stuff that could go on, but from where I'm standing, finding that place of harmony. So that's been the message: harmony, balance, you know, that 0 point, the peace and deep connection with who I truly am, without compromising any of who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm still being me and being true to myself and being the best version of me that I can be in that given moment, no matter what is going on around me.
And, you know, I've been talking about harmony and balance all week. And, you know, it's like, it seems to be the theme, you know, all week, talking about harmony and balance. So how can we find that harmony and balance within ourselves? You know, and part of it has to do with making that demand of ourselves that we're not going to get pulled into the drama and trauma, you know, that people are talking about. You know, I'm not going to get caught, you know, get myself caught up in the stories. It's like, okay, yeah, I know there's stuff going on out there, but I don't have to, you know, get caught up in it. You know, it's like, I have my point of view, somebody else has their point of view. I'm not going to argue with people about it. You know, it's like, it is what it is. But so how can I stay sane in this time of insanity, right?
Yeah. And it's a process, you know, and sometimes, you know, we can do it, we're really good at it, and other times we get drawn in, and that's okay. It's okay to recognize, okay, I could have done that better, and then to make, you know, a mental note for yourself and do some work on yourself in the meantime, so that when such a situation arises again, that, you know, you don't get caught up so much, you know, because
so
sometimes
much.
it's a work in process, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
and work in progress. And so it's a matter of forgiving yourself, being gentle with yourself, loving yourself, and just consciously, even if it's one baby step at a time, that's okay. Not everyone can take these giant leaps and bounds forward.
Yeah.
I know I can't. I'm one that has to dip my toe in first and then go, no.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I leap, it's like I'm just gonna jump, but yeah, one little toe at a time.
and just accepting, okay, I'm that's I just didn't handle that very well. That's okay. Owning it,
Yeah.
that's okay. I think owning it is the first baby step. Admitting to yourself, okay, I could have handled that better. Okay, I feel I have these emotions of anger or frustration or jealousy, whatever it is that is rising up in you. I'm feeling it, and my personal process is to follow that emotion like a thread. I sort of feel it, acknowledge it. Okay, I see you, I acknowledge you, and then I kind of start going deeper. What is beneath that? I follow the thread. What is triggering me to feel that this way in this given moment?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I can see Angela's written there. Thank you, Angela, for your comment. I'm trying to stay out of the drama, but it surrounds me continually. I am exhausted. I hear you. It is exhausting, and it's like, okay, today I'm exhausted. I can't do anything else. I don't have energy for anything else except myself today. So I'm just going to sit quietly for hours on end. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to music. My personal process has been all kinds of things, asking my body in each moment, what do you want to do? Okay, you feel like releasing this emotion, something's come up. And I have a good cry and I release it. Something's triggered me to feel angry. Okay, what is that? I'd like to do some work on that today. Today I need to go for a walk. So
Mm-hmm.
doing physical exercise, I also found was really, really helpful during the process. And I don't mean the kind of physical exercise where, you go to the gym, although, those who that kind of exercise suits, good for you. I'm not one of those people,
Me neither.
I put my hand up for that. But just going for a gentle walk. I'm very blessed to be living in a lot of nature around me. I can go for a walk in the forest. And I'm crying on my walk. I'm talking to Mother Gaia as I'm walking, and at the end of my walk, and they're actually signaling to me. There's, I notice through my tears, oh, there's a bird, and it's singing, and I'm thinking, oh, I love that bird, and I haven't seen it lately, because of course here in the southern hemisphere it's starting to be spring, so all the birds are in their best finery.
Mm-hmm.
They're all coming up with their bright colors, and I look at the bird and I think, oh, and I stop for a moment and I breathe. So breathing, moving the body, which helps move that emotion out of the body, because emotion is energy. So it's helping me move it out of my body. Spending time in nature, meditating, and I don't mean tying yourself up in knots on the floor and chanting Om all day. Meditation for me is an introspection, so just sitting quietly with myself wherever I felt comfortable, whether that was indoors or outdoors, in the bath.
And it doesn't have to be for hours. It can be 10 minutes.
No, it can be 10 minutes. It's however long. And then I need to get up and I need to move my body and I need to do something. What do I need to eat, today? These were all, do I feel like eating today? Because there were days when I did not feel like eating.
Yeah, and that's okay
and
too.
There were days when I just craved, and I think, what's going on with me today? I'm really hungry, So it's
It's also
You know,
important, I'm just going to interject for Angela there. It's also important to have boundaries. It's like she's saying, she's asking, is this my path? Right. And I try to own it. I don't know why you would if it's not pleasant, but the characters around are like hounds. Well, if there's people around you all the time who are always in your space and not respecting your space, and space means energetic, mind, physical, you have to tell them, I need some time. Give me 10 minutes, give me 5 minutes. I know you don't have young kids who are under 5, Angela. So the other, all the rest of them, you can say, I need 5 minutes. I need 10 minutes. Come back and see me in 10 minutes, right? And part of that is about, I need to breathe, right? So I need to breathe, and I can't always breathe when there's like people all over the place. So it's like, I need 5 minutes, and then I will, if I need that, I will go to my room, close the door, and say, just breathe, and just be. I don't like chaotic energy myself either. I don't like to have lots of chaos around me. I'm a alone type of person. So I need my space. I need my alone time. I need people to get out of my space, right? So it's interesting how, when I was, when my kids were younger, right? I would have to tell them, Mommy needs some time. So I'm going to go in my room and I'm going to meditate for half an hour. Do not come in unless you're bleeding or your bones are broken. Otherwise, don't come in. I'm meditating, right?
yeah,
So they always listened
absolutely agree.
because I said it,
Yeah.
and they listened. And if they did come in, they would whisper, Mommy, can I just go next door? Okay, sure, go ahead, kind of thing. But they were respecting that I needed that space and time, right? So you have to, I'm sorry to be so assertive, I guess you could say, Angela, but if if it is kids all around you, then you have to say, hey, give me 5 minutes, I'll be with you then, right? Or if it's your husband, same thing. If it's your spouse, even if it's your parents, whatever, say, I just need 5 minutes. Can I just have 5 minutes, please? I think I'm lucky that I've never had to experience or since I was young, a narcissist, and so this word, this label of narcissist has been so prevalent in the past few years. It's like, I don't even know what that is. It's like, I think I'm really lucky that I don't. But the thing is, it's like, I know sometimes it's not easy to get out of a relationship when you're in it and you have family, you have kids, all that wonderful stuff, but you still have the right to choose what's right for you. You still have the right to say, I need half an hour. I need this, I need that. Right? Otherwise, that's not your path. Your path, I don't think a person's path is to suffer. I don't think a person's path is to, have no boundaries, etc. So, I'm so sorry, Angela. I'm like just going off on you here for a minute, but you have to recognize, what feels good and what doesn't feel good. What doesn't feel good is not necessarily your path.
Yeah,
Maya, help me out here.
I agree. I agree with the boundaries, especially, and that is one of the issues that came up for me, because we're home a lot with our spouses, and and some spouses are online and buying up big, and I suddenly had boxes arriving, and I'm very much a Zen kind of person. My spouse is not. He's a collector. And so when these boxes started mounting up, because I was so caught up with my own process, I didn't realize how many boxes were arriving. And when they started to stack up, I started to feel overwhelmed, and I had to take a step back and ask myself, what's going on? And I had to create that boundary. So I didn't say you can't do this to him. What the compromise that we came to was, we had a guest bedroom that clearly wasn't being used anymore. So we dismantled the bed, and we, leant it up against the wall, and we moved all these boxes out of the living area so that he now has a room.
Yeah.
So whether it was a room in the house, whether it was a shed, whether it was a storage unit somewhere, the boxes had to leave my environment, because it was in a common space in the house, and I was feeling overwhelmed with what was going on. I don't like clutter. I like the energy to be moving freely throughout the house. And so a boundary had to be created. And my thinking was, if I speak up about the boxes, how is he going to feel?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I realized how he feels is got nothing to do with me. I'm expressing how I feel, that suddenly there was not consent that these boxes should be in the living area. And because there was no consent, then we had to come to an understanding of what to do about them. And so not to step on him and blame him and say you can't do this anymore, still allowing him to have what he feels he needs as well during this time. But, you know, coming to some kind of understanding and drawing that line and saying, you cannot clutter up my living area because this is where I spend a lot of time in.
Yeah.
And how he was going to react to that was entirely up to him. I had absolutely no control over how he was going to react to that. But I had to speak my truth.
Mm-hmm.
And in speaking my truth, I'm very fortunate in that he's also very understanding and very intuitive, and you know, he's done a lot of inner work himself, and he could understand what I was saying. And so we both agreed that the spare room would be the best place for it, so that he had access to his things that he needed right now. And that's what we did, you know. So I was quite fortunate in that there wasn't a confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was, I was going to stand my ground. I had already prepared myself. If he is going to react in a bad way to this, then that's his stuff. I have to say what's going on for me, because where am I going to go out of this house?
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is the time for us to speak our truth. What is important to us, right? This is not the time. You know, the victim consciousness, you know, is no more. You know, this is the time for being empowered as who you are, a sovereign being. We get to choose our realities. We get to choose, to an extent, you know, how we would like our days, our, you know, weeks, our months to go the best we can, right? But we can't stay silent anymore. That doesn't work. And so I think all that stuff is coming up for us now to express how we feel and choose, you know, do we want to continue down this path, or do we want to choose something different? I think that's part of what the accelerated awakening is. It's like all that stuff is coming up to the surface, right?
It's a stepping into our sovereignty. So I have a right as a human being in my house to say, this is my living space, and there was no consent that this living space should be cluttered. So therefore I have a right to speak up, to say how I feel, because we both live in the same house.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I feel. Can we change this somehow? And I, you know, I was lucky we had a spare room, but you know, if I didn't have the spare room, I could have said the garden shed, or I could have said a storage unit, whatever the solution would have been.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
but a solution needed to be found. So it was an honoring of how I felt. I had to speak up, step into my sovereignty as a sovereign being of light that I am, and that everybody is, and respectfully speak up for myself, but also speak to him respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
And say, this is not working for me. I'm feeling like this, you know, this is what I propose can be done about this. There was, you know, there was constructive criticism, if you like, to say, you know, this could be a solution. How do you feel about this?
And, you know, and that's what it's about right now. It's like, are you willing to compromise? Are you willing to stick to your truth, your values, and stick to your ground, you know, whatever that is, right? Are you willing to do that for yourself? Because this is about you, nothing else, nobody else, not about your kids, not about your spouse, not about your parents. This is about you. this
Yeah.
time in our life in history, it's all about you. What are you choosing, right?
Yeah.
And
And
this accelerated awakening is just bring all that stuff up for you to choose, to see it and
and I
choose.
I agree with you also, Lara. When my son was very young, I too was drawing boundaries then and saying, I need time out. I picked a time of the week when it suited my schedule, and also when it suited the household, that I should take time out. Because I understand that it's also it's difficult when you have kids, and
Mm-hmm.
so uh, and saying, if the phone rings, don't answer it. If somebody's knocking at the door, don't answer it. And just be in the house and do what you need to do, but I need to have this time for myself. And sometimes I took a little bit longer than I thought I would, and I would, like you, I'd have the soft knock on the door. Are you
Mm-hmm.
all right? Yes,
Yeah,
I'm fine, thank you. Oh, I was just concerned because the time, and I'm sure he was sitting there looking at the clock.
the whole time.
but
Yeah.
but in doing this for ourselves, we're also teaching our children boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to establish your boundaries.
That's being respectful of yourself, really. That's about you. You're nurturing you, respecting you. You're saying, this is what
Yes,
I need, this is what I want, this is what I require. You're important.
it's part of the self-love process.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is my boundary. For my own emotional health, my mental health, my physical health, I need to take some time out here. Give me half an hour or whatever the time is that you want to take out, but you need it, and it's not selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a healthy behavior pattern, and we're teaching healthy behaviors to our children and to everyone around us, as our spouses, our families,
Yeah,
everybody. We're saying, no, I cannot do this for you today. I need to take some personal time for myself.
yeah.
That is fine to say that. There should be no guilt feelings around that. If there's some kind of discomfort around putting that boundary in, then that is an indication for you to do some more work around your boundaries.
Yeah. Just
And
keep enforcing them, because eventually they'll get
absolutely,
it. At the beginning, nobody wants to listen to that, but then eventually they'll get it. So I was just going to
yeah.
ask, really, everybody right now, who, requires some, support, like what can we do to support you? Because, it's like, yes, we're talking about boundaries. We're talking about loving yourself, self-love, respecting yourself, all that stuff. And that's great. We all need to hear this on a regular basis, because we, we forget, right? But what else do you require right now? Like, how else can we support you? Because I know it's difficult with, like you said, Maya, families at home, kids are at home, spouses are at home. My husband's here too, he's working from home. And, it takes a little bit of getting used to sometimes having everybody around us. So what can we do energetically to support ourselves, right? And support our energy field, and, find that harmony and find that balance. Sherry wants to know, she said, I would just like to learn to be more quiet within myself and focus. Awesome.
Yeah. And that's a process, I think, for all of us to quieten down all that noise. If we go from that saying, as within, so without, if we look what's going on outside of us, that everything has slowed down. Even the mail, I kind of post a package out to someone and I think, I should have gotten there by now. And, because that's an old pattern of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's slowed down. The mail has slowed down. It takes weeks for a package to get somewhere on the planet these days, So I think it took 5 or 6 weeks to get a package from the US for me. It was like,
Same,
are we there yet?
same with me. It took me 5 weeks to get a package from somebody, and I'm like, all right, I'll wait another week. Okay, I'll wait another week. It's like, okay, finally. I was like, oh, thank goodness, But it was like,
because we used to have that fast-paced stuff that we had on the planet. Everything has slowed down. We here have had suddenly we've had, because it's in the southern hemisphere, the whales are moving about, and they're swimming down the coasts of Australia on their way to Antarctica. And the whales are coming up rivers. It's like they haven't, not in my lifetime, they haven't. And it's like, what's going on with them? It's simply, they do not hear the noise that was previously going on in the land, which they could hear very well in the water, and energetically feel through the ley lines that go through the land and down under the ocean through the earth. That's how they stayed in touch with us, through the ley lines. And suddenly that they're not hearing the noise that's going on, and they're going up rivers where they've never have before, so it's interesting to see the animal behavior, because humans have stepped back and are not taking up so much room on the planet. Everything is quietening down. There's not so much pollution of sound, of airplanes in the air, of cruise ships in the ocean, you name it. Everything has really taken several steps back, and to be more peaceful, more quiet. We have this opportunity. It's being handed to us on a silver platter at the moment. So taking time, how to find that peace within, it's simply you creating that boundary and saying, I'm taking time out.
It can be 10 minutes, and then you just sit quietly. You can lie down quietly and just breathe. Or, there's so many guided meditations or just music on YouTube that you can just listen to while you're just breathing, focusing on your heart space and just being quiet. This is about silencing the mind a little bit, like you can't totally silence the mind ever. So please don't get into that, but just quieting down and not hearing all the noise from everybody else around you, right? So, but that it's really, really important to do that, even if it's 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Sometimes it can be some music you're listening to, but sometimes, switch everything off and just sit quietly. Listen to what's going on around you. Listen to what's going on inside of you, because your body is probably talking to you and you're not hearing it for all the sound that's going on, all the noise that's going on inside of you. So take that time, as Lara just said, breathe. I think breathing is really important. Moving your body. I mean, there are so many, I keep thinking of Zumba. You can put a video, you can find a video online, if you don't have a library nearby, or it's closed or whatever, find something online that will enable you to move your body, to move that energy out of your body, because that's what emotion is. It's energy. So move it out. So
go for a walk, if nothing else, go for a walk.
Moving, breathing, introspection, quiet time, making sure you eat, your diet is, and I know, from statistics here in my country, the alcohol sales have gone through the roof. It's not the answer, folks. It's just not the answer. How can you change your diet? How can you find something more healthy? Now more than ever, you have time to research online. How can you eat more healthy? If you're lucky enough to have space and you can plant a garden, plant a garden. That's certainly part of the process that I did. I now have 9 raised vegetable garden beds, and have half of them are still coming on with the spring crop, and I've started a few of my summer crop are coming on as well. So spending time in nature is important, however that looks for you. If you're in an apartment, if you're in an apartment, go buy a couple of plants, put them near you in a space, create a space for yourself, create a nature corner, so that when you do go for a walk in the park and you find a stone, or, if you want to go to a new age shop and buy some of the stones, whatever it is, you find a feather, bring it home, put it on your nature table, sit with that, because it's your connection to nature. I know that not everybody is, blessed and to have nature all around them. Sometimes we're in the city, but nature can be found, because nature doesn't allow itself to be, I don't know if you notice even just a weed in the crack in the pavement is nature, the wind in through your wind chimes, if you can find, if your neighbors don't mind, if you have a little wind chime on your balcony, that I have quite a large wind chime. Nobody seems to mind in my area, and when the wind blows, but it's not in direct wind, but when the wind blows in a certain way, I know that's Mother Gaia going, hello, how are you today? And it's like you haven't connected with me. And I'm like, oh yes, it's a sound that reminds me, because I work with sound, so it's like, oh yes, and then I can listen to what I call the song of the wind, as the wind is moving through the wind chimes, so just little whimsical things, that make you feel good. Just do whatever it is,
So it is possible. It is possible for you to find that quiet time, quiet space, going within. Absolutely. It's possible. And you have to take the time.
We can't travel, so we can't escape. It's really just brought us back to, this is where we are in this moment, facing up to, what is going on inside of you, honoring it. We can't be planning too far ahead, because everything is so fluid. So here we are in in this now moment. And they're just reminding me to talk about time. Time no longer exists. If you've noticed, sometimes we can, like before you started the recording, Alara, you mentioned that, 2.5 hours, and where did the time go? Yesterday. And it's like that. And sometimes you think it's only, 5 minutes, and so much time has gone by. And other times you think an hour has gone by, surely, and it's only been 15 minutes. So, our relationship with time is also changing, because where we're going, there's no such thing as time. That's a human construct. We're not tied to that clock anymore. So many people are able to work from home, so they don't have such a rigid, structured work day anymore, and I think it was one of our politicians who was doing a talk online here in Australia, and suddenly one of his kids came up, and he was online with another politician, and the other politician's cat came online and sat on the keyboard, and and we kind of just, before that would have been seen how unprofessional and all that kind of stuff, and now it's like, oh, how cute.
Times have changed.
We just take that in our stride, because it's like, well, everybody understands we're home, and we've got families and pets at home that require our attention and want to be with us.
And they don't understand I'm on Zoom. What does that mean? They don't know, right? So
doesn't mean anything. And so time, because we don't have such a structured day, then time also time is losing meaning for us. And our, if we're going to look at our inner work and what we're being asked to do, stepping into our sovereignty also means that we need to let go of a lot of the constructs, a lot of the belief systems that are anchoring us in the third dimensional reality. So that has to do a lot with our negative emotions. It has to do a lot with the values that we have, what we held near and dear to us before might not hold so much interest for us now. So it's a process of rediscovering who are we, and at the same time putting our boundaries in expressing ourselves and how we feel, and honoring ourselves, respecting ourselves and others. So there's this whole process of shedding things that no longer serve us and putting in place things that do serve us in this now moment, and that is how I'm seeing this whole process on the planet, inside and out.
Oh,
As
absolutely.
above, so below.
Yeah, and that's what's happening right now, is that all the stuff that's not serving us is coming up for us to see and acknowledge and say, okay, no more. And also that we get the opportunity to choose, okay, what does serve us? And so Kat is asking the question, how to find my soul's mission or be accessing my gifts. And part of that has to come with what is calling you to, for you to do next, right? So how can Kat and anybody else who's wondering, how can we all find our soul's mission? I know when I ask the question, it's like, or access our gifts. Part of it, I'm gonna let you answer first. Go ahead. I could talk forever.
Okay, so let me just make a distinction here between what is our purpose here, which we are already doing, by the way, simply by being on the planet.
Yeah.
And anchoring this energy on the planet, doing the work that we do within ourselves, and being present on this planet. That's our sole purpose.
So I think Kat is unmuted. Do you want to just hear what else she has to say? I think Kat's unmuted.
But what we do with that time on the planet, that is what the dilemma is. It's not our sole purpose. It's finding a purpose in this moment that suits us.
Mm-hmm. So, and what that is basically going to be something that calls to you, something that lights you up, something that is interesting to you, right? It's not going to be something that, makes you feel bad or makes you feel less than, or makes you feel, I don't know what exactly.
And now, more than ever, you have time to discover that, whether that's going inward and feeling that calling, or whether you're, you come upon it, because it's something new through technology, or maybe it's a hobby you already have and you're just going to expand it even more.
Yeah.
But this is what's happening for people. Who are you now is the question, because what interested you 3 months ago may not be interesting you now.
Yeah.
What you were doing 3 months ago, today you might be sitting and saying, well, I don't want to do that job anymore. What else can I do? Now we have more time than ever to do online courses and to gain new skills, to up level the skills that we have, whatever is calling you. And so this is the time to do it,
Yeah.
and you're only going to discover that by being quiet inside. But so a new behavior has to be established within you. So every day, take 5-10 minutes for yourself. You have more time now than you've ever had, because you're not having to rush off to work or do all the things that we used to have to do. So now we have time to sit for 5-10 minutes and to think about something. Now we have, all the resources online available to us, and the time to find them.
And that's the thing, so much now is available online than ever before, right? So it's like there's so many things that we can look into and say, oh, would this be interesting? Would this be interesting? Oh, this might be fun. But you won't know until you actually do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
You've got to try it. You've got to claim it. You've got to try it. You've got to find the courage to move out of where you were before.
But I'll be honest.
Courage.
Oh, absolutely. Life right now takes courage. But I was going to say just really quickly, whatever you're going to, you're not going to pick something like, I want to be the president of the United States. That's not something you're going to pick if that has never been on your radar before. Okay? I mean, I'll be honest. It's going to be something that you've thought about before. It's come up before, or you've, met somebody and they're doing something. It's like, oh yeah, that would be interesting. That would be fun. That would, it's going to be something like that. It's not going to be something out of the blue, like, oh, I'm going to suddenly become a forest ranger. you know, because I
Yeah.
decided maybe not say the president of the
Well,
United States, but like you're not going to do that. Okay, so when it comes to your gifts, and your soul mission, you know what your gifts are. You know what your talent is. Sometimes we have that fear of, well, maybe I'm not good enough. But you know what? You won't be until you practice, until you do it and do it and do it. Hopefully that
and
makes
that's where
sense.
I'm saying it takes the courage. You really have to find the courage to do this, to explore it.
Hmm.
It's an adventure. Explore it. Find out what is drawing you, what is not drawing you anymore. Maybe it could be something from childhood. Maybe it's something on your bucket list, that you've always wanted to try out and you never have.
Yeah.
It can be anything, because we're all on different journeys. So we just have to keep our minds open. And that's a good point there too, Cherry, for sleep and wake is jacked up. Oh yeah, sleep patterns are all over the place. Some people are sleeping during the day and awake till the early hours of the morning, and and others are sleeping all the way through, where they never have. So it's entirely go with that. If you need a nap in the afternoon, go for it.
Yeah.
Honor your body, honor what does it need, what is it doing, in that moment in time, how do you feel?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is about honoring your body, going with the flow, like we talked about at the beginning, listening to what your body requires. And, if you don't know how to listen to your body, start. That could be a new thing that you're starting to do. It's like, okay, they're talking about talking to my body. I have no idea what that means, but start asking your body, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Body, do you want to drink this? Body, do you want to eat that? And see what you start to get. At the beginning, you might
Yeah,
be making it up, or you might think you're making it up, but eventually, if you keep at it, you're going to get the answers. And that's when you start to really become in communication with your body. And that's when you really are starting to realize your body is here with you to co-create your reality. Okay.
absolutely, absolutely. As I'm waking up in the morning and I'm doing my gratitude process, the next thing after the gratitude is, okay, it's time to get up. My body, what would you like to eat this morning for breakfast? What, and
and,
lunchtime,
and
what
this
do
is
I
what we
feel like?
have. This is what we have in the
Yeah.
fridge. So from something that's in the
Yeah.
fridge. Because
Absolutely, at lunchtime as well,
yeah.
could it be something that, I can that I have on hand? What do I have? What do you feel like? What do I need in this moment?
Hmm.
Asking your body, and then giving gratitude to your body as well for being the amazing vessel that it is for you, for
Yeah.
you, who you truly are. So it's honoring that physical part of yourself as well. It's we've had to be more confined in spaces with other people we probably haven't spent a lot of time with, even if they are our spouses.
Hmm.
but we're also spending more time with ourselves, with our own thoughts. So the
Yeah.
body is one of those areas that we need to also look at. What do you feel like? uh, I think addictions are also a big issue that are coming up for people, whether that's tobacco, alcohol, food, sex, whatever it is, whatever addiction it is, drama, you know
Hmm.
daytime television, whatever it is for each individual.
Yeah.
Their habits you can change, because you've got the time, you've got nothing better to do, I'm sure.
And that's the thing, because we do have the time. This is the time to stay, get out of our heads, stop listening to those, the same thought patterns over and over again, say no, and choose something different. Okay, choose something that's empowering for you. Choose something that
Yes.
makes you feel good. Don't let those same thoughts run riot in your head. Okay, because that's all they're
Yeah.
going to do. But you have the power to stop them and say no. Like talk
Yeah.
to the hand, no, right?
Yeah.
And then choose something different. Okay, I
Well,
know
that's a great lead in, Alara. We can do an energetic process just with that.
awesome, good. Yay.
I was looking for, okay, where's she gonna bring that in?
Awesome.
we can
Yay.
we can do the energetic process for for those thoughts that keep repeating in our heads all the time. That's a really easy one to be able to do with everyone today.
Awesome. Good.
Okay. I'm just gotta plug in my laptop, otherwise my battery is going flat and you'll lose me.
That would not be good.
Okay. No. So you ready to do the process now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, awesome.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's just get comfortable in our seats as we close our eyes. And take a deep cleansing breath through the nose, right deep down into the abdomen. And then exhale through the mouth, just allowing that breath to fall out. And just notice yourself as you're taking another deep breath all the way down into your abdomen. And exhaling through the mouth. And just pushing all that air out. And one more time, a deep cleansing breath. And exhaling through the mouth. And really noticing your body. And just with those short 3 deep breaths, just notice the difference that is made to your body as you continue to breathe deeply, which we forget to do. Many of us are still breathing shallow from the chest. So just taking those deep cleansing breaths oxygenates the body, and it helps you to find that center of stillness within. And as you're noticing your body, notice whether you have any areas of discomfort, any areas of tension. And consciously take a breath into that part of your body and allow it to dissipate. So often, when we're stressed or when we're feeling pain in the body, we tend to want to control it, we contract the energy, and it just causes more pain, more constriction, more withdrawal. And what we really need to do is just breathe into it and expand it outward. And the more we expand it outward, the more it dissipates. And as you're expanding that part of your body, also feel the rest of your being expand outward. Allow yourself to feel everything around you. Allow yourself to feel where the limits are of your energy field around you. Shohurakiane, hauma eka, horake e aintu, humana e ai, shuhearaki, tumane he te e a shuha. Just take a deep breath into that. And just allow that energy, those frequencies and codes to permeate the cells of your body. Breathe them in. Tu shehina ai ummake akoru hei nu nemi araki te shehe. Another deep breath. And just breathing that one down into your heart. And allowing yourself to connect with your heart. And now bring something into your mind that has been bothering you. Perhaps it's a thought pattern. Perhaps it's some voice that says that you're not good enough or you can't do something. Perhaps it's an emotion that keeps coming up for you. Just bring it to your mind. See it for what it is. And know that it is something that you can overcome. If it's worries about lack, if it's doubts about yourself, if it's fear about what is going on in the world around you, just acknowledge that. We all have them. It is nothing that is not normal for any human being present on the planet today. And then just take a deep breath once you've acknowledged it. And I'd like you to bring in the violet flame of Saint Germain. I'd like you to bring in the violet flame and allow it to start from your Earth Star chakra beneath your feet and allow it to work up through your body to the soles of your feet, up through your ankles, to your knees, all the way up into your hips, up through your hands and arms. Allow it to go up through your abdomen, your chest, all the way up to your shoulders, your neck, your head. And take a deep breath into that as you feel the energy of that violet flame as it burns through you, burning away all that is not of you, all the thoughts of doubt and fear. That is not who you are, that belongs to the collective. And as you cleanse yourself of these lower frequency thoughts and emotions, you are not just doing it for yourself, you are also doing it for the collective, as this is what we have agreed to do, those of us who are way showers and light workers. We are doing the work for the collective as well. Shehi anakian urake shehim mae nuku mahei tura e a to shahu. Take a deep breath into that. And bring that into your heart. Bring those frequencies and light codes into your heart. And just notice how you're feeling. And allow that flame to continue past your crown chakra, up to your soul star chakra. And allow it to also go as far as your stellar gateway. As above, so below, as within, so without. Te rahuna e ke shuhu e tuhma ke mona e aro te e aun. Take a deep breath into that. And just notice how you feel. As you take another deep breath and prepare yourself to open your eyes once again and become fully present.
Wow. I'm like sweating. Like I'm so hot. I felt so much heat, on my face, the whole head area.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
sweating.
That's how you know it's working.
Yeah, and all the way down the back. I'm feeling so much heat all the way down my back right now as well. Just
Yeah.
sweating and going up and down. It's like, oh my
Because
goodness.
you are not those thoughts. You are not those negative thoughts. You are not those negative emotions. You are so much more than that. And therefore, when and I know it's such a simple tool to use, that violet flame
Mm-hmm.
is such a simple tool, and it's been around for forever.
Yeah.
But it still works. It
We have to
still
remember
works.
to use it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but in those moments when your thoughts are driving you crazy, when the emotions are there were moments in my process where I thought I was losing my grip on reality. It was so challenging for me, and where I've said before, I just had to go from one moment to the next. This is what I kept bringing in. This is what kept this is what I kept coming up for me. Bring this in, transmute it. And so, okay, I'm getting through one moment, from one moment to the next. It's all I could do some days.
Absolutely. And
So
that's what you have to, tell yourself sometimes, like, okay, this is coming up. Okay, transmute it, transmute it, transmute it. Sometimes we might not even know how to transmute it, but if you sometimes just have the intention, work with your guides. Okay, higher self. Okay, my support team. Okay, my guides. Okay, my angels. This is coming up right now. This is happening. I see it. Please transmute it, right? So I was just going to ask
yeah.
everybody, how are you all doing? How is that for you? Because it was like, so much, so much energy moving, right? Brenda says, during the release, I had to move to my side. It was so uncomfortable staying on my back. Yeah, because the energy was moving, right?
Yeah,
Wow, this was wonderful.
absolutely. Move the body,
Yeah.
Even when I'm sitting watching TV sometimes, it's like, oh, I think I need to move and stretch and get up and, shake the body.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, for sure. And I was feeling that too. Like when I was sitting here, it's like, oh, I need to move, I need to shift, because it's like there's some stiffness in the body from sitting a certain way. But yeah, I need to
Yeah,
move. Um,
yeah,
and that's your body telling you, hey, there's some energy here that maybe needs to move around a little bit. That's why you're feeling that stiffness or that.
uncomfortable. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
discomfort. That's your body speaking and saying, move, because
Yeah.
we need to move this. We need to shift it.
And when you were doing the light language, and you said, breathe that into your heart space, just breathe that into you. How does that feel? And it's like, even that, even if you don't know how to do it, just breathing it into your heart space, having that intention, you'll start to sometimes perceive. I'm a feeler, so I sense, the energy is starting to shift in your heart space, or shift in your crown, or shift above you, right? Everywhere. And it's,
Yeah.
if you're willing to perceive it, right? It's also about willing to perceive it and just going with the flow, saying, okay, I'm not
Yes.
feeling anything, it's okay, but I know that it's working. I know that these frequencies are having an effect on me. I don't know how, but
Yeah.
I know they are. right?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't always have to know how or why. I just know this is, this is, and I believe it. And the more we believe it, the more it works for us.
Yeah, exactly. And this, it's basically also creating a pattern interrupt in your mind, in your thinking process, in your thoughts. And when we're talking about thoughts, we're also talking about emotions and feelings, right? Creating that pattern interrupt. As soon as you say, "What is this? Let's not go here," let's not let this go on much longer. Let's choose something else. Getting to the recognition of what it is. Wants to go in the other room, right? So sometimes just acknowledging what it is will start to shift it.
Yeah.
When you're not resisting or reacting to something and judging it, and just being in like, okay, this is what's happening right now. This is what's coming up. This is what I'm perceiving. Okay, that alone can start to shift everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And you
So.
just mentioned the word resistance,
Mhm.
and I think, when we have pain in our body, when we have discomfort in the body, in our emotions, it's a signal that there is a resistance. So that's why I started off with, expand outward, because we're so used to drawing our energy in
Mhm.
that and now particular, because the energies are so intense, that's all we want to do is just withdraw these energies in.
Yeah.
So the moment I'm feeling the energies are coming in is the moment, on planetary level, is the moment that I'm like, okay, I can feel it. We talk about the symptoms of ascension. They're all just resistances to the energies that are coming in. So let's just breathe that energy in, acknowledge that it's coming in, and expand your whole being out to the very edges of your field. And your field is 8 meters across in diameter around you. That's your field.
Mhm.
That's how far your being stretches out. So let's feel the very edges of our being. That's how big we are. There is so much more to us than what we think
Yeah.
we are. And expand out instead of withdrawing in, because in that habit of withdrawing our energy in, then we're always needing energy to come in to sustain us. When we start expanding outward, then we're radiating outwards. We're radiating out that divine light of ours, and we're no longer energy vampires, as it was called.
Mhm.
We're now radiating outwards, and we're sustaining not just ourselves, but the environment around us as well, and the people in our environment.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so it's a change of behavior from withdrawal to just expanding outward. Expand your being outward. Feel the edges of your being.
It'll make a huge difference when you start to do that. Julie, did you want to add anything? Did you want to say anything? Did you have a comment?
Well, no, I'm just taking it all in, and I didn't mean to unmute. I actually was trying to just hear a little bit better, but no, I'm taking it all in, and I like the idea of expanding out.
Awesome. Good.
And just I think like almost like with the energy field, like our aura,
Mm-hmm.
and try to raise a vibration, and then once we do, expand it out, and keep in that state. I
Mm-hmm.
like that. But thank you for asking. I
Sure.
appreciate it,
Absolutely.
and thank you for being here.
Thank
Bless
you.
you, Julie.
Good. And Kat, go ahead. Oh, we can't hear you, Kat. Okay. Maybe she didn't mean to do that, but I couldn't hear her. Anyways, okay, cool. So, all right. So I wanted to talk really briefly about the special offer that Maya has for us. So if you're on the live page, you can just click on special offer. Those of you who are not, you can go to alara.at/show/Maya9. And so the special offer is It's a 1 hour one-on-one personal session with Maya, as well as a 15-minute personal gong sound bath. So this is personal to you, right? So Maya, do you want to just quickly talk a little bit about what the personal session looks like? And for people who don't know, what is a personal gong sound bath?
Well, a personal session, obviously, you know, you can bring the issues that you're experiencing at the moment, and you're struggling with them, and I can give you practical tools, just like I did with that simple violet flame that only just took a few moments. You know, I can give you practical tools to manage what's going on for you, and for you to, what I want is to see you thrive and expand, and, you know, be the best version of yourself that you can be, you know, and that's a sign that I've been successful, when I see you thriving. So so the personal sessions are just that. It's one-on-one, and I'm tuning in, and I use light language and to raise the vibration, and I take you into processes to work through the things that are coming up for you. So that's personal sessions. And the personal gong sound bath tracks, and I know that's a very lengthy title, but I just don't have a better one for it, unless I want to call it a soul song.
That's
there
nice.
was a practice in Lemuria of when a woman was called to become a mother, she would give her consent, and then she would be in communication with the unborn soul, and the soul would teach her a song, if you like, but it was a set of frequencies that were specific to that soul, and so she learned the song, and she was then able to teach it to the father, because she went off and she found the father who would also consent to a sacred union, and he would then be taught the song, and in the moment of the sacred union, of the conception, the both of them would sing the song. So they would sing the song sing the soul in, and then, of course, during the course of the pregnancy, the song would be sung to the soul. Of course, and especially at birth, the song would be sung all during the lifetime of that person. The soul would be sung, and right through to the very last moments of a person's life, the song would be sung one more time, and then they would cross over. So this was a set of frequencies unique to your soul that help to bring the balance, help you to evolve to the next level, and it is individual as each soul is. So it's a 15-minute track that you can play. I have a whole page of testimonials on my website if you'd like to read through them. I have clients who play them on a loop for themselves during the night while they're sleeping. I have clients who use them use their tracks as pick-me-ups when they're really feeling down and exhausted. I have clients who listen to their tracks for a while and put them away, and then come back to them after a while and rediscover a whole new level to the track. So you know, the tracks are as individual as each soul is on the planet, and it's specific to you, and it's as a result of me tuning into you and discussion with you of what is going on for you, and the track definitely helps you move through all of that. And I don't know many other people who work this way. I know it's maybe sounds really out there. The track is not a musical composition, let me say. It's toning and light language that bring in certain frequencies, because the best way that I can describe it is a song, but it's not a musical piece, because as we know, music has repetitive bars and and notes which the right brain can tune into, whereas and keep repeating. That's how a song
Mm-hmm.
gets stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is engaging your left brain, and it can take you into deeper states of meditation. So definitely aiming for that theta brainwave state, which is the 5th dimensional brainwave state.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. And it sounds so, empowering, having your own, your own personal gong sound bath track. It's so empowering because it's specifically for you, for what you require, your frequencies at the soul signature level, right? So it's going to apply to you no matter what you're doing, what's going on, all the time. It's going to empower you and support you. Yeah. Beautiful.
Because it's multidimensional. That's why the light language and the frequencies that are coming in, it's multidimensional. It's in reminding you of who you truly are, because you're not the anger, you're not the fear.
Mm-hmm.
You're a divine being of light and love, and this is bringing that reminder back in for you, and also helping you to balance up in these very challenging times. I might add.
Yeah, exactly. So it can give you a sense of peace, and what I'm getting is harmony and wholeness.
Yes.
Right. That's just what I was intuitively tapping into. It's like harmony, wholeness.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling
into the holiness of your being.
Yes, exactly. The holiness of your being, because you are holy, you are special,
Absolutely.
you are magnificent, right?
Absolutely.
You are brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. So all of that, the 1 hour session plus the 15-minute personal gong sound bath is available for $111, which is like, what? When I saw that, it's like, did I do that wrong? It's like, I don't know. Did I put in the wrong numbers? So you definitely want to take advantage of that, for sure. So that's available again, like I said, at alara.at/show/Maya9. Okay. So awesome. Thank you. All right. So Maya, we're, at that time. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today before we go? Before you start your day, and I'm going to end my day here.
Yeah, my day is dawning.
I know, right? It's beautiful.
So so just know that you're not alone. Know that you're here for a reason. You've agreed to be here. You will not be given anything that you cannot handle. It might seem challenging in these moments, but it is not something that you cannot overcome. You would not have been given it if you would not have been able to overcome it. So just really focus in on that. Bring in a new pattern of behavior where each day you tune into yourself, and you are really rediscovering who you are now, because you are not the same person you were even just 3 months ago.
That's so true.
So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you so much for inviting me back, Alara, and allowing me to speak to your listeners. Thank you, everyone, for your comments, for your love. Bless you all. And just take a deep breath into that. I love you all. Bless you. And bye for now.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And thank you again, everybody, for all your comments and for being with us today. And thank you, Maya. Always so wonderful to talk with you and share your beautiful energies from Australia. I love your light language. So beautiful, so empowering. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everyone. So until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.